Let's see what Ethan Klein had to say about Jewish Voices for Peace, which just recently was standing up for the First Amendment rights of Mr. Muhammad Khalil, I believe I'm saying his name correctly, who was protesting at Columbia University. Let's hear what Ethan Klein has to say about Jewish Voices for Peace.
There's these groups called like Jewish Voices for Peace. I criticized them as being like allowing themselves to be tokenized. And Hassan said, "Oh, you think they're capos?" And I was like, "Dish, what are you fucking talking about? That's not what he said at all." Jewish Voices for Peace, there's 20,000 members of this group. Not all, and you don't even have to be Jewish to join the group, okay? So let's say 10,000 Jews are members of Jewish Voices for Peace. And they tour all around the country.
Let's just say there are only 10,000. See how he's trying to minimize the group? So you're telling me that Jewish Voices for Peace, this organization that has 20,000 people, you're saying 10,000 of them aren't Jewish? I mean, yeah, you can say that, but I highly doubt it's true. And, you know, really, what are you trying to prove? Let's see. What is he trying to say by pointing that out? By just making up a fake statistic about them?
Showing up at every, like, pro-Palestinian protest or whatever the fuck they're doing, and they parade them around like, here's one of the good Jews. It's 10,000 people of 6 million in America, and part of the disgusting propaganda that they do is that they try to convince everybody that this is this represents the Jewish majority, but it's not anyway.
The disgusting propaganda that they do is try to convince everyone that they represent the Jewish majority. Can you give some evidence to where they are trying to convince people, or even making any statements whatsoever that they are the Jewish majority or represent the Jewish majority? Because the only propaganda I've seen recently, or the only message I've seen that they've been trying to get out, is to support the First Amendment rights of protesters, and specifically this protester that Trump is trying to deport right now out of the country. Why aren't you talking about that? Why aren't you talking about their most recent message? And it seems that you definitely disagree with them. Seems like that's the point you're trying to get across. They don't represent the majority. So you're saying the majority, you represent the majority of Jews? You represent the opinion of most Jews? And your opinion is that they don't agree with the First Amendment? You're saying that the majority of Jews want this man to be deported? I mean, he clearly is spiteful and has animosity towards anyone protesting at these pro-Palestinian college protests. And I know that for a fact because I've heard him and Ela also just talking crap about these protesters in general, any of these protesters at these colleges, and basically saying, oh, they don't know anything. They've never been to Israel. How would they know? They don't know what's going on. And as if you have to visit a war zone to be against war. As if you have to be inside the genocide to be against the genocide. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, let's let him finish up.
Does not represent it.
Oh, okay. That was it. So, yeah, he's saying that these people are trying to push disgusting propaganda. What is the disgusting propaganda? Why don't you show evidence for what their disgusting propaganda is? I think what he's really saying is that their disgusting propaganda is standing up for Palestinian protesters. That seems to be what angers and disgusts him, because they've made that clear on multiple occasions. So, again, this is a man that claims to be pro-Palestinian. He's never spoke well of a Palestinian protest. He attacks Jewish groups or Jewish people that are pro-Palestinian. And he's never had any sort of pro-Palestinian voice on his podcast or his show, other than Hassan, which he now claims is a terrorist. So he's never even had another pro-Palestinian voice. He's from Israel. He's supposed to know, right? Or he's not from Israel, but his wife is, and he lived there for 5 years. Does he have any Palestinian friends? I mean, he's supposed to be on the inside knowledge, right? Why not have one of his Palestinian friends on the show to give their view, to give their side of the story? He's never done anything like that. So again, this narrative from Ethan that he's pro-Palestinian and everyone else is not, and everyone else speaking out for Palestinians are actually terrorist sympathizers, his story just isn't matching up. It isn't making sense. And the more you learn about a lot of like liberal Israelis, is they sort of have the same thing where like, oh yeah, we're pro-Palestinian, we don't want to see them suffer, yada yada yada, but we just don't see any other choice than what's going on. They have no alternative. They have no solutions. They have nothing that pushes towards peace and equality for the Palestinians. They basically just act like there's no solution. But they'll virtue signal and say they're pro-Palestinian, but there's literally nothing to back that up. Nothing of substance.
But apparently hating someone for being born somewhere is vibes all of a sudden. Regardless, I said, because I'm a Zionist, what does this even mean? To those that use the word as an insult, it simply means anyone that believes Israel has the right to continue to exist. According to recent polling, this would include 90% of the world's Jewish population. That means Brad here would need to apologize for taking a photograph with 9 out of 10 Jews. My thing was like, if you don't like 90% of an ethnic group, if you think 90% of an ethnic group are monsters or Nazis or whatever, I think you might just not like that ethnic group. You know what I mean? I don't think that you can. I think that's just racism, frankly, at that point. Which we're against.
Okay, no. Just to clarify, I can't control what 90% of a population believes. Okay, there was a point in U.S. history where the majority of the population believed slavery was a great idea. Great idea. The vast majority believed it was a great idea. Even when it was like North versus South, the North wasn't necessarily against slavery so much as they were against the South using slavery to get ahead of them economically, because I think, their laws, they went the right direction with their laws earlier than the South did. But the South was going to have did have an economic advantage because they were using slavery. But the majority of the population did not have a problem with slavery. Now, is pointing that out racism? I mean, we're not talking about an ethnic group, but we're talking about all the people that lived in the country of the United States, which was majority white. So it's basically the same thing. You're talking about the majority of the population of a country believing something absolutely vile. Can we not call that out? Does that mean I think every Jewish person thinks that way, or that every Jewish person is going to think that way forever? No, it's a choice. It's absolutely a choice. So it's not hating them based on their ethnicity at all. Ethan is just full of shite. And he is just saying something that's blatantly untrue. And he's basically saying you can't call out a society, or you can't call out people for their vile beliefs. If 90% of the population believes in genocide, sorry, that's a bad thing. And that should be able to be called out. This idea that we can't call out Israeli society, again, this comes back to having a Jewish ethno-state. It creates all these problems because the Israeli government wants Judaism as a religion and as an ethnicity to be inseparable from the state of Israel. And as you can see, that's a big problem, because when the government starts committing genocide or other horrendous acts, they want their people to be tied in with those acts and therefore blamed for those acts. And unlike, say, the Vietnam War, where public sentiment turned against the war in the United States, unfortunately, Israeli society is a victim themselves to the Israeli propaganda that makes them believe that it's sort of them or us. If we don't genocide them first, well, they're going to genocide us. That is literally that is what they believe. That is what the majority of them believe. This isn't a racist thing to point out because, again, it's a choice. They can change their beliefs at any time, and those beliefs are not intrinsic to their ethnicity, right? So they can change their beliefs tomorrow, and then I'll be like, oh, you don't believe that anymore? Okay, well, then I'm not judging you for being a genocidal maniac anymore because you have changed your beliefs. It just so happens that most of the Israeli society are genocidal maniacs. And I'll prove it. We'll look at a lot of evidence. We're going to watch a video that proves it pretty extensively. And again, there was protests in Israel before the war started. There was a lot of protests against Netanyahu, and people were tying that in with the Palestinian suffrage. And it may have been partially because of that, but after October 7th, they don't have any, most of society does not have any sympathy anymore for the Palestinians, including their children, including the innocent children. So just like sentiment changed at that time, it can change again. But my point is that since then, there hasn't been large-scale protests that I've heard of at all in Israel. So that lets you know right there, that gives you a clue that they're not all that against the genocide, because if they were protesting Netanyahu before and then he started committing genocide, you would think the protests would get even bigger. But of course, I haven't seen any evidence to back that up or support that position. Getting to his harassment and how dangerous Ethan has become lately, let's pull up this. This was especially disgusting. Let's read the description here. Ethan Klein pulls up a hater's Instagram live on air and starts looking through his family and friends' pictures while seemingly insinuating his fans should go send hate to him, his mom, his friends, and his employer. Then later, a bomb threat was allegedly called into the school his mom works at. So when you send your millions of fans after people and you do this type of shit, bad stuff happens. And that's exactly what he wants to happen, and it's clear. And let's see, it calls this dude a hater, but let's see what this horrible crime that this guy committed towards Ethan was.
Man, I'm being obsessed with you guys when you only had 15K subs. Glad that's behind me. Enjoy hell. This guy's for real. Joe Coop. Look this guy up.
Man, okay, so all this guy did was leave a comment. And this is the comment. Man, I remember being obsessed with you guys when you only had 15K subs on YouTube. That's behind me. Enjoy hell. Okay, so this, in the world of hater comments, this is pretty light stuff, right? Any creator on the planet that's doom scrolling comments about them is going to find much worse stuff than this. And I highly don't recommend responding to that for your own mental well-being, let alone doing what he does next.
Enjoy hell. He said enjoy hell.
Yeah, no, I mean, they think I'm actually the devil.
I feel like this one's real.
Oh, no.
We caught you, Joe. Public-facing account.
Oh, Joe.
I see you. You wanted to be cute? Let's see it. Nice mustache. Strong entry. Not exactly the Esteban, but halfway there.
He's not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I probably blocked him. He's not showing up for me.
So this is Joe Coop. He left a message on Hila's Star David Tattoo. He said, I'm glad that phase is behind me. Enjoy hell. Joe Coop said. I'll start David. Here he is. If anyone, let's see if I know, can identify him at all.
Oh, shit. That weenie truck he's in front of, that's in Dearborn.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Dearborn owns the Oscar Mayer truck?
Okay, so it's just like some casual doxing going on here. AB joins in to point out, he's kind of isolating this guy's location, and I'm not going to say it, but it's kind of, I'm not going to repeat it. Obviously, you heard what he said, but he's helping casually dox this guy. It may not fit the, legal terms of service definition of doxing, but it definitely fits the terms and conditions of harassment if you watch the rest of this.
He's at the Henry Ford Museum. Yeah, they also have the...
Wait, it doesn't travel around?
Yeah, I thought I tried.
I mean, it used to in the 60s, unless there's multiple.
Which one's Joe? Let's see. I think it's this guy.
No.
That's Joe
Doesn't
Coop.
look anything like him.
No, no, it is. Here, let me show you. That's him.
Oh.
That's him right there. Trust me, when I see an anti-Semite, I know I can spot him.
Wow. Spot him from across.
That's him. So I don't know if you guys all know that, like,
Okay, so he's calling him an anti-Semite when all the guy said to them was enjoy hell. So if you talk to a Jewish person and say enjoy hell based on some horrible shit they done, that automatically makes you an anti-Semite? Come on, that's ridiculous. And all you're doing is triggering your fans. You know what you're doing. You know exactly what you're doing. You're triggering your fans, trying to get them riled up and calling this guy an anti-Semite when you know there's no evidence of that.
your friend Joe here actually is a fucking giant racist piece of shit. And like he likes to tell Jewish people they're going to hell on Instagram on his public profile. I don't know if any of you guys know him, but certainly anyone who would employ him, or probably even his parents, would be pretty disappointed to see that. Although who knows? Here's his mom. I'm not gonna clip that for her. Oh, no, you know what? Fuck him. This is what you. Here's your mom. I wonder if she knows what you do on social media.
Wow. He said, okay, I guess the screen switcher at least switched down, but he said, I'm not going to click on your mom, but then he did click on his mom. This is disgusting behavior. Okay, you got to remember, this guy has like 3 million followers, so he knows what he's doing when he's implying to go after him, go after his employment, go after his mom. He knows exactly what he's doing.
On your free time. You love your mama. Good thing she's not Jewish, eh, Joe? I love it. I love it. So anyway, best of luck to you out there.
Okay, I just have to point out, this is just absolutely demented behavior right here. Like, so unhinged. Completely unhinged. It's completely harassment. He should be banned. I guess he did some more stuff like this on Friday. I'm going to probably cover it on my next stream, but yeah, just yesterday he went on another unhinged doxing rant, from what I understand. And yeah, when is it going to end? How much harassment does this guy get to perpetrate while also claiming to be the victim, constantly pretending to be the victim?
Joe, I don't know who you are, but you're a fucking asshole, and shame on you. Yeah. Let's see. Sleuth.
Awesome life update, guys. I'm officially beefing with H3H3. I got on Instagram for the first time in like a year, and I saw that they were at the top of my feed being Zionist douchebags, and I called them out for it. I just said some shit like, can't believe I used to look up to you guys, on hell or whatever. And then I get off Instagram because I'm never on there, and then my friend sends me a screenshot of my 4th of July party thing from 5 years ago on the H3 stream. He stalked my page and sent his fans on a witch hunt to comment and berate my family and stuff on Instagram. Super cool stuff. Honestly, it changed my mind. I think Zionism is good now because you set your millions of fans to harass me and my family. You fucking loser. Vig Nation, y'all.
One last update on the H3 situation. His fans called in a bomb threat at the school that my mother teaches at, which in all reality was very merciful of them, considering what Zionists usually do to schools with bombs.
Oh, this is like comment from some message that he got. Lamel, you're gonna burn in hell, and it's genuinely so funny. Trash like you always burns. Your mother deserves hell for raising such scum. Glad you're on your way out, pussy bitch. I mean, that sounds like a death threat to me. This is what Ethan Klein is sending after just random people on Instagram that don't like Hassan. I mean, I hate to find out what happens if he comes across my stream or my video. He's probably gonna like nuke my house or something after he doxes me. I just like, it's just disgusting, man. Anyways, okay, here's more. Okay, you're being doxed through Reddit now. Blah blah blah. Put that account to private real quick, huh? Crazy how you follow the Zionists, huh? Can't even stand by your own morals. Every death in Gaza is on your hands. You're making them look like scum. Hope that makes you proud boy. I mean, this is clearly a mentally unwell, deranged person. And this is what Ethan Klein unleashes on people that disagree and don't like him. And then he cries and pretends like he's the bully, or like he's the victim. That was a little Freudian slip there, because he is clearly the bully. Anyways, just let you simmer in that for a moment. Pretty disgusting. So that sort of gives you the rundown of Mr. Ethan Klein and his current crash out. And then, so this is something he completely doxed this guy. Again, he pulled up their like public Facebook. Obviously, none of this was unblurred. So where he went, what school, where he lives. You like to harass people and break families up for fun? All public info, don't cry, please. Okay, so this is another person that said something insensitive about a CPS visit, which again, I don't agree with that happening, but I don't agree with people that just say random comments on the internet getting their whole lives turned upside down when millions of people go after them. Okay, you might have an argument if this was actually like the guy that called CPS or something, but no, there's just a bunch of people online that were sort of like didn't care, didn't have sympathy for him getting CPS called on because of all his behavior that brings all the hate back on him. And again, he's just turning people's lives upside down and sending, it's just, there's no excuse for this behavior. Like, as a large creator, there's just no excuse.
Advocate for their ability to use the N-word. You don't tolerate that in any other spaces. Thing? Why are you tolerating it from someone who's supposedly a leftist?
Wait, is she talking to you or Destiny?
I think, well, that's
that
Destiny.
Sounds Destiny coded.
Destiny did like a manifesto on why it's okay to say the N-word.
No, I know, but the first video was about us.
So I just find it funny that they're confused. They don't know. They don't know if it's their racism or Destiny's racism that he's talking about.
How do we get to Destiny now?
This is an older one.
This video was not in like response to Ethan.
Yeah, no.
Okay. I thought this was in response to us because the first one.
Everything this person says isn't about us. Everything isn't about me and us. The world doesn't revolve around us. These videos aren't in sequential order, all directed at us, attacking us. Like, she has no critical thinking skills whatsoever, and you can tell that she just thinks everything is about her, and everything's about her and Ethan. It's so ridiculous.
The first one was. This one's older.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is another greatest hit.
Doesn't have the blue hair.
Yes.
Right.
Is it because you like
confused.
that they like to scream and yell at each other and smear one another? You just like drama. You're just a drama pervert. That's all it is. Own it. But the problem comes whenever people start questioning
audio
Hassan
deep fried
and
all of a
say,
sudden.
why don't you do praxis? Why don't you go out? And
This is the audio from the trunk of the person.
I will tell you why he doesn't go out in the real world and do more than he already does. How would you feel if every time that you attempted to organize something, every time you attempted to go somewhere, every time you attempted to do a charity, that you tried to do an outside questions about Israel and
It's crazy. She really understands how bad it is to harass people. Oh, I hope your kids get taken away. God, I hope so.
I'm still
Palestine to try to
confused by that noise. I really.
What do you mean, dude? You never been to the zoo?
It just doesn't seem. It doesn't seem like it comes from that person. That's all.
This is migraine-inducing content. Like, I don't know how people watch this shit. Like, it is so bad. There was a lot of things that could have been better about the show back when I watched it, but what it's become now is like nails on a chalkboard. And Zach used to be funny with the soundboard. Now it's just horrible. Like, it's not adding anything good to the show. It's just making it harder to listen to.
We have video evidence.
It's a Chewy.
I know, and I've seen it with my own eyes. I still don't believe it.
Bro,
It's just
she's
so
Chewy.
weird. Yeah, it's
to trip him up to make him seem anti-Semitic. He went and gave his own clothes to the homeless.
Oh, so this is.
Oh, wait, this is recent.
Oh my God.
What do you? Okay, first of all, he donated my clothes to the homeless. Let's get that.
Okay, this is just funny. This is like, they're super triggered now because Hassan did the clothing drive, or he did the thing where he went and gave a bunch of clothes to the homeless. And so what? Did you expect him after all the shit, after a year-long harassment campaign, did you expect him to just hold on to all those clothes and just never wear them again? I really can't think of a better solution than like giving them to the homeless. I'm sure you guys probably say, oh, he should have given it all back. Nah, bro. And I guarantee you, if he tried to do that, you guys would have rejected it. You would have said, no, we can't take that back. No, like, donate it. Just donate it. They wouldn't have taken it back because they would have felt, I think that would have hurt their pride to take it back, because they would have been like, Hassan wanted to be able to say that we were so petty and so spiteful that we took all the H3 clothes back from him. No, Hassan. No, we told you to donate it. That's honestly what would have happened if he would have tried to give it back to them. But other than that, like, honestly, what could possibly be a better solution than to give those clothes away to the homeless? And you should be happy for the homeless, because damn, they're getting some fresh threads, right? They're getting some good clothes. I just think it's also funny because I was watching that stream. There was like several of the Teddy Fresh articles of clothing that he was trying to get rid of for so long, and the homeless people were like, I can't be seen in that. It was pretty funny.
That's straight.
Oh my god, he donated clothes that he got from a PR package.
Dude, the bar is so low for these people.
Oh my god.
He's a socialist hero because, let's see. Yes, he bought a $3 million house.
Put 5 hoodies in the trunk and went and gave it to somebody and recorded it.
She's saying he's a socialist saint because, one,
oh my god.
he has.
Actually, I watched the video and they didn't record anybody that didn't want to be on camera. The people that he interviewed and tried to get their perspective, which is a good thing, right? We need to know what these people's perspectives are. But before he interviewed anybody, he asked them. And those were the only people that he showed their faces on camera. Everybody else, camera was down. He would announce that there was a camera every time they were around someone. Like, he live streams every day. Of course he's going to live stream what he's doing. And he made the best of it. What is wrong with getting the perspective of homeless people? It's a lot better than this, like, poverty porn that a lot of other YouTubers do, where they're just like, look at how disgusting and crime-ridden all these places are. And yeah, once again, look at the freeze frame. This doesn't look like a demented person, right?
He bought a $3 million house, but the people who have been there say it's quite modest. 2, he gave away clothes that were gifted to him. And 3, he's helped out a lot of his family, and well, he likes to talk about it enough that we know about it. Mm-hmm. What do I got to come out here? And I mean, this is literally like, Hassan Piker has done more
Hassan
for the people
has
of
done
Los
more
Angeles
to help the unhoused population of Los Angeles than Kendrick Lamar.
Just because Kendrick doesn't come out and be like, I gave $1 million to this and that and that, it's like, dude, you guys, the performative is the pathetic.
He is shadow boxing. He's taking the words and statements from random fans and acting like as if that is Hassan's position. Does Hassan hold the position that he's done more for LA than Kendrick Lamar? Would he ever say anything like that? Highly doubt it. Highly doubt it. Okay? So he doesn't brag. He doesn't say shit like that. So taking the words of like the most extreme people in a fan base, or just silly, I'm not going to call these people extreme. Whatever. I just think they're wrong and they're silly and they don't realize that they're going to get attacked by millions of people when they're saying this stuff. But yeah, they're shadow box as if it's Hassan's position, and it's not. So shut the fuck up. And look at the freeze frame. Just saying. It's like so easy to get a thumbnail out of this. The thumbnails write themselves.
Pathetic part, and you guys are such suckers. You're being suckered by it.
Outreach program. And kept everyone off of video unless they had consented to it before.
Are they the suckers, or are you the sucker for having a show for 2 years with him? Leftism show with him for 2 years and apparently not knowing anything about his political position. So I would say you're the sucker, buddy.
Wow.
Why were they on video at all?
Wow.
If you're giving 5 hoodies on the street from a trunk.
Also, what? Wow.
He could do charity without recording. Wow. You know that.
He was doing interviews, getting the perspective of those people living in those conditions. You don't realize how sadistic and stupid you sound because you're basically advocating that he should not. We shouldn't hear those voices. We shouldn't listen to those people. We shouldn't get that perspective. It sounds a lot like another group of people that you really don't care to hear their perspective either. Sounds like a lot like Palestinians. You really don't care to hear their perspective. You really don't care to hear from any groups that are advocating for them. Don't record it. We don't need to see that. Just like you don't want to see the destruction and death of children happening in Palestine. You want to look away. You want to ignore it. At least I'm seeing like some consistency in the behavior here.
Right?
Well, if you don't do charity without recording it, did it really happen?
No. But no, that's not good enough. He went to the pro-Palestine protest at the DNC.
You know what?
Oh my God, what a hero.
You know what? What have you done?
What was that, her real voice, or was that a sound clip? Holy shit, what the hell was that?
You know what I mean?
Oh my God, what a hero.
You know what? What did you...
No, he looked over at her. He looked over with... Like, these people sound completely demented. Oh my God. Even when they're trying to be funny, you can hear, like, just the pure hatred and spite. I don't understand how anyone can, like, hate somebody this much. I really don't. It's the same thing I seen from Destiny. I would say that Destiny was a lot better at playing it cool, but there's plenty of clips of him going completely unhinged as well. There's no doubt about that, but I don't understand how anyone can have so much hate and spite for any one person, especially someone that is not devoting any energy at all to you. The only time Hassan devotes any energy is when they're directly attacking other Jewish people, to be honest. That's been the latest responses on Twitter. He's been relentlessly going after another Jewish guy, calling him a token and all these horrible, disgusting names and insults. And Hassan is defending him. Hassan is defending a Jewish guy from you, Ethan. How is he the bad guy in that scenario? How? Make it make sense. It doesn't.
What have you done? You know what I mean? Crack pipes for Hassan, or what's going on here? You know?
And openly talked about...
Bro, let's be real. If you and this person were having a contest to see who did the most crack, my money's on you. When you're judging a random person off the street, you got to be able to take it if you're going to dish it out. It's that simple. I mean, this is the type of shit you learn when you're like at least 10 years old or hopefully younger. You haven't matured to that level, I guess. My kids are more mature than Ethan Klein.
About Palestine during the DNC so much that he got kicked out.
I don't think that's why he got kicked out. I think he probably got kicked out for just being like openly antagonizing an anti-democratic party. I think there's a lot of Democrats who agree with him. I don't think it's...
Homie. Still...
I'm pretty sure he got booted right after he said some stuff about them not having any Palestinian speakers. And I don't know for sure why he got kicked out, but I'm pretty sure the timing was right after he made comments about them not having a Palestinian speaker at the DNC, and then I believe Kamala Harris made some super pro-Israel comments too that basically signaled that they were going to double down on the same Biden policy. And anyways, you just got no points, bro. You got no substance to your positions at all.
Still not good enough. He went to the wildfires and interviewed and talked to and hung out with the incarcerated firefighters.
No way he hung out with them.
Yo, he hung out with a bunch of criminals, which is like, by the way.
No way.
Usually his son wouldn't be caught dead with fucking...
Did they lift weights together?
But do you know how stupid you sound? You just sound like a really hateful, spiteful person. Did you lift weights with the firefighters? Did you? Would that be a bad thing if he did? I don't understand what point she's trying to make. What is the point she is trying to make here?
He went to incarcerated people. He was like, I'm just like you guys. Elon Musk, he is so much different than me and you guys. Such a man of
to try
people.
to get more eyes on them. Still not good enough. He's raised millions in charity. Still not good enough. So when will it be good enough?
Never. It will never be good
When
enough.
will it be correct?
Says that jokingly, but what is your rebuttal? She made a very good point there. It will never be good enough for you, and you just admitted it in a sarcastic tone, but what's your rebuttal to that? It's never going to be good enough for you, and she called you out for it, and you have no response.
When will he actually be a leftist to the people who don't actually care if he's doing good or not, and they only want him to fail because their fave doesn't like him, and that's why they try to turn everyone against him?
All right, if you want to start...
Make that make sense.
Well, we could start by actually talking about the criticism and not whatever that is. I would love for her to call in. You think she would call in?
Is that what you do, Ethan? You talk about the criticism, or do you talk about a bunch of stupid shit like his house, his mom, his housekeeper, his profile picture that he has his armpit showing, his clothing, his fashion? Those are your criticisms that are so substantial that really are worth talking about. Obviously, your supposed main concern is that he's a terrorist, but unfortunately, there's not an evidence or substance to back that up. Like, shut the fuck up. You got nothing. You never had anything. And that's why you go after every little thing about him: working out, having a house, selling merch, doing normal things that so many other creators do and that you do too. But he's a bad guy for it because he is pushing a socialist agenda. That makes him bad.
No, probably not.
Why not? This is absolute cinema. This is the gagged POV of a Destiny fan. Oh, that's good. All right, let's thank our sponsor. We got so much to do, guys. We're having too much fun. We got to move it right along here. Oh my God, Miss Smoke.
This is fun. This is how pathetic their lives have become. That is what they consider fun. Holy shit. It's just more evidence that shows that being rich and influential does not necessarily make you happy with your life, because if that was having fun, I just honestly feel sorry for these people. Honestly. That is sad. That is really fucking sad.
What, the 500 gifted? Are you freaking kidding me right now?
$500. Don't know.
Oh, also what?
I thought
you said 500 gifted at first. $500 is still
from
insane.
Miss Smoka. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. I hope you all have a great day. P.S. AB, I sent you a gift and it got delivered today.
So disgusting to me that people even send them money. Like, ew. Why would... This man does not need any positive reinforcement for the shit that he's spewing. Gross.